Hello everybody, my name is Christopher Brook and this is Scammed into Startup. So in this video, I'm going to talk about a little more about Amazon and why selling on Amazon is a really bad idea, in my opinion. You know, Amazon would probably tell you something different there, but in my opinion, selling on Amazon is not a good idea. So in the last video, I talked about how to find something on Amazon to sell, or at least the process that I was taught when I was mentored by this business coaching program that scammed me over so hard. So here we're going to talk about why selling on Amazon is not necessarily your best option. Even if you do the process that I talked about on my last video and find something and then find it on Alibaba to sell, I'm going to talk about why Amazon is not necessarily your best bet for selling something. So let's go back to our Amazon window. Here's that little multi-cooker in the last video. Hello. We don't need Alibaba up. We don't need our multi-cooker. We don't need our bar set. Let's just go to Amazon. Okay, so let me show you why selling on Amazon is not necessarily a good idea. So let's pretend I'm a customer. I'm Mr. John Doe here, and I'm searching for, let's do a multi-cooker. The same thing we were looking. Actually, let's do the bar set. The thing we were looking at last time. Little cocktail. What was it? Cocktail shaker kit. Get our results. Okay. So let's take a look at this page. What do you notice about this page? There are, I don't know, 100, like a ton of different cocktail shaker sets here. A freaking ton. And a lot of them pretty decent, actually. They look like, what, 5-star, 5-star, 5 stars? Actually, if you want to sell a cocktail set, looks like cocktail set's a good thing to sell. There's a ton of them on here, and they've all got pretty good reviews. So apparently cocktail sets are just a quality item across the board. Okay, but you can see there is a ton of cocktail sets on here. And if I go down to the bottom of the page, there are literally 7 more pages, 6 more pages, I guess, like a ton of more pages here of cocktail sets. And if I go over, I don't know, to page 3, there's still a ton of cocktail sets. Oh my God. And they're all basically the exact same thing. It's a cocktail shaker, a couple of stir sticks, this little swizzly stick thingy, like a long spoon, I guess. A lot of them have these little wine stoppers. This little box that's popping up here, if you didn't watch the last video, this is a little thing called DS Quick View. It's a little Google Chrome extension that basically gives you information about these things. So for example, DS Quick View, if I look at some of these like this particular one here, it tells me that the bestsellers rank is 88,755 in kitchen and dining. It tells me the ASIN number. It tells me there's one person selling it. Anyway, that's what this little thing popping up here. In the last video, I talk about that and how to use this if you're trying to find something to sell. Just ignore it for now. But anyway, you get the point. There's a frickin' ton of cocktail shakers on Amazon, which for me as a customer is maybe a good thing. It's yeah, there's plenty of competition. I can freaking take my pick of anything I want here if I'm willing to go through and look, and actually compare. Otherwise I might just go back to my where is it here? I might just go back to page number 1 and say, okay, that's a lot of cocktail shakers. Let's just pick this one here. It's the first thing on there. It looks pretty. I don't know anything about cocktail shakers, so maybe I just want this one, or being kind of like the hippie naturopath kind of person I am, I might look at that and say, well, I don't want a bunch of whatever that coloring is in my cocktail, so maybe I'll go over to the first stainless steel looking one here, and maybe I'll pick that one, which illustrates a point we'll talk about here in a moment too. But you can see there's a ton. So and as a customer, that may be cool, it may not be cool, depending on whether you're the kind of the person who wants to compare little details. Ooh, this one comes with I don't know, a wine stopper or whatever that is. This one doesn't come with a wine stopper. This one's wine stopper's all plastic, whereas this one has some little metal wine stoppers. This one comes with a little stand for them. This one doesn't. Whatever. If you're into that, cool. If not, you might find that really confusing. And if you're a seller, this is a pain in the ass because if you actually find a cocktail shaker like we were doing in the last video you want to sell, or if you actually like are a company that sells cocktail shakers, like maybe you're like a high-end cocktail shaker company, or a high-end kitchen utensil company, and you sell really nice cocktail shakers for like $200, you probably don't want to list them on Amazon, because if they pop up, your $200 shaker is going to be sitting right next to this $24.99 cocktail shaker. And what do you think people are going to pick? The $24.99 one, So for example, if we go into this $24.99 cocktail shaker and we take a look at it, cool, looks like a nice little thing, expert cocktail shaker, whoop-de-doo. Guess what? If I scroll down here, guess what Amazon's going to do? It's going to offer me another 10 cocktail shakers here, or whatever. Down here on the sponsored products related to this item, there's a whole bunch of other cocktail shakers, which means that if your customer actually goes to your page, which firstly is hard enough considering there's a million other cocktail shakers out there, and they actually manage to pick your page first, and then they go down, it's like, ooh, well, crap. You know what? Here's another cocktail shaker by, I don't know, some other random thing that, ooh, I kind of like the product picture more. Maybe I'll buy that one. Maybe I'll jump from your page here to this other one. And guess what? You've just lost the sale. And ooh, look at this. Nice image. I like this image better. There's probably no difference between this one and the last one, the one you were selling, but this one has a nicer image. So you know what? I'm going to pick that, Or, crap, this one's $26.97. Down here we have one for $18.99. You know what? Maybe I'm a cheap ass and $18.99 sounds better than $27, You can see why Amazon is a problem. There is so much competition on Amazon. Good luck, good luck selling anything on Amazon, unless you're selling, unless you have like a following somewhere and people on your YouTube channel or your, blog website or whatever, and you tell them, hey, buy this thing, and they come over and buy it specifically because it's yours, the chances that any random person is going to buy your cocktail shaker is probably pretty low. Now, if people are buying, 10 million cocktail shakers a week, then it may not matter that there are 500 different cocktail shakers to pick from. You might get a fair amount of people just because 10 million people is a lot of potential customers. So even if you only get 1/500th of that, that's still a lot. But you can't really guarantee you're going to sell to any particular person. You're still going to have a relatively small percentage of the sales of the total number of customers coming to look for a cocktail shaker. And even if somebody does randomly pick your cocktail shaker, the odds are they can pick another one down here just as well. So you can see it's not necessarily a good place to sell. And especially because when you have all these other people selling here, the competition in a lot of ways gets kind of based on price. For example, right now we're on a page with $18.99 is our price here. Here's another one for $13.99, which means all the cheap people are just going to go to that one. They're going to click on that. Maybe they don't care about a lot of extra doodads. They just want the cheap one, so they'll buy that. Or if you're selling the cheap one, maybe somebody does care about the doodads. Maybe they want this one here for $29.99 that comes with all this extra stuff. It looks like it's got I don't know, like little wine stoppers and tongs and whatever these little cup-looking things are. I don't know whether those are like a filter for the thing or whether it's literally like a shot glass. I don't know. I don't drink. I don't know the first freaking thing about cocktail mixers. Yeah, it comes with a whole bunch of little things with it, So the chances are that any particular customer is going to want your random thing is very, very small. So that's the first reason, is competition. You can't guarantee that anybody's going to buy your particular thing. And the second reason is confusion. Remember, if I'm a customer and I'm searching for cocktail shakers, look at all these freaking options, and let's say your cocktail shaker is amazing, and let's say your cocktail shaker is amazing and it's also reasonably priced. Let's say yours is in kind of like the $25 to $30 range, which is kind of where a lot of these kind of sit there. At least the ones with kind of like features. Well, actually, let's say $20 to $30 range. It seems to be like all the ones we're seeing with like a $20 to $30 range have a lot of little like stuff included with them. So let's say you're selling a really nice cocktail shaker with a bunch of little doodads added on. Like little, wine spouts and whatever. Which, by the way, according to my mentor that I had who was teaching me how to sell on Amazon originally, it's like if you can bundle stuff like this, like see how this cocktail shaker has, a bunch of other little things thrown in, it's kind of like it increases the value, Because it's like, why is somebody going to spend $15 for a cocktail shaker when they can spend $21 for a cocktail shaker plus all this stuff? So it's kind of like to be competitive, you kind of have to include all that stuff anyway. But let's say you do have a good cocktail shaker for about the same price range. Who cares? Your customer may get on this page and see a whole bunch of these cocktail shakers. Let's say they want specifically a cocktail shaker set. Ooh, look at all these cocktail shaker sets. Guess what? Even if you manage to somehow appear on like the number 1 spot here or the number 2 spot or whatever, what is there to stop your customer picking something else? They're looking at this and like, I don't know, they're going to do one of two things. Either they're going to be the person who's completely just overwhelmed. They're going to be like, oh my God, I'm so confused. I don't know anything about cocktail shakers. What should I buy? What should I buy? They're just going to click on the first random cocktail shaker that pops up. The other option is they're going to be one of those nitpicky ones who's like, I want to compare and contrast little details. I'm one of those people. If I'm buying on something on Amazon, I'll spend literally like an hour going back and forth between two things trying to figure out which one I want. At least for most things, for something, maybe not. But, anyway, so then the customers, like, they might look at yours, they might look at somebody else, they might look at 3 other things, and finally just choose yours, or like not choose yours, because your swizzle stick, in there is like, goes like, I don't know, like twists, like see how this little thing here is like twisting there? Maybe yours twists clockwise and they want a counterclockwise thing. Some little minor detail might make you lose the sale. And so basically you're at the mercy of the market. You're at the mercy of 10 million other people who are selling. You're at the mercy of the customer, whether they're like the kind who's going to be confused and just pick some first random thing they find, or whether they're going to be the person who's so nitpicky that they, unless your thing satisfies like everything on their checklist, they're not going to pick you. Basically the chance that you're going to get a sale on Amazon is pretty freaking low. And especially if you're going into Amazon as like a new seller and you're going up with things with like, 1,900 reviews, like, sorry, if you got 3 reviews and this person's got 1,900, I'm probably going to buy the 1,900 one, considering they're like 4.5 stars with 1,900 reviews. What did I just click on here? I don't know what I just did there, but okay. RATKNB. I don't know why Amazon is making me pick random characters. What the hell, Amazon? KGT HJ8 HJH. Okay, I don't know what that was about. Amazon apparently decided I was a robot or something there. Maybe there are like automated processes people have for this or something. But anyway, you get the point. Selling on Amazon, you're not in control of the market. You don't get to walk the customers, to what you want them to sell. You have to just throw something up there and hope it can compete, and hope that there's just enough demand out there for your product that you can compete against the, 500 other people selling your cocktail shaker, Especially if you watched the last video and you watched the video, and learned how to find something to sell on Amazon. Especially like people do that. There are people who make a living doing that. I call them Amazon pirates. And again, in my opinion, if you do that, you're kind of a dick. And this is why, because there are people out there who made maybe a good living, selling a legitimately nice product. Maybe they had like a nice cocktail shaker that was actually really high quality. And then some other dick just went over to Alibaba and was like, hey, here's a cheap ass cocktail shaker. I'm going to throw it up on Amazon. Suddenly, they stole half the other guy's sales. And then 400 other people did the exact same thing, So it's like the one person who's actually, making a good business selling like their nice cocktail shaker, maybe they're out of business, Or maybe not, maybe they were just some dick who just found something on Alibaba and threw it up, and then, he just happened to be the first one. But, either way, you get it. It's hard to make money on Amazon because the market is so saturated. Kind of the idea I was taught is look for something niche, if you want to know what I was looking for initially, remember in that video a few times ago I talked about what I was selling, the little fermentation weight? Fermentation weights. So fermentation weights, like fermentation anything, is a pretty niche market. Nobody does that. It's kind of like a lot of people drink cocktails, a lot of people buy cocktail shakers. Not a lot of people do home like lacto fermentation and make pickles and sauerkraut and stuff like that. So you think it's a niche market. Guess what? Look at all this crap. Remember, I was selling weights. Weight. This one right here is the one I was talking about last time, or in that video with all the competition. This is that one that was selling 6. They're good reviews. They're selling 6 of these for $15. They're getting them pretty cheap. Little flashback there. But anyway, you can see this is supposed to be a niche market. Look at all this stuff. And here's the exact same freaking thing, as this guy here. So one of these guys probably, actually, I don't know, shipped by Kitchen and Dining. Actually, never mind. I'm sorry. Here it's the exact same listing. It's just that here it's sponsored. Down here is like the actual listing for it. But anyway, you can see. Look at all these things. There's a whole bunch of fermentation weights out there, and this is supposed to be a niche product. And you still got all these competition, people competing with you for your little weights. And there's still 13 pages? Oh my God! Try page 3. What's on here? Look at that. More fermentation weights. And little jar lids and stuff like that, and now you're getting a little more generalized, jars, little kits and stuff like that. But it's like you're still seeing a ton of competition here, and again, especially for like a weight is a weight. It's a lump of glass. Who cares whether it's perfect or not? People are going to go with something cheap, So there you go. This is why I do not recommend selling on Amazon, And when I'm saying this, I'm not trying to demean on Amazon. I'm not trying to make them lose business or anything, by the way. Like, personally, I love Amazon. I buy a ton of stuff on Amazon. I'm just saying that if you're trying to sell something, I personally do not think that Amazon is the place to do it because there is so much freaking competition. Any market you can possibly find on Amazon is going to be extremely competitive. It's going to be saturated. There's no such thing as a niche on Amazon anymore. Probably specifically because there are people doing what I taught you in the last video. How to find a so-called niche on Amazon, find that thing and then sell it. There are people who make a living doing that. And, now there's really no such thing as a niche market on Amazon. So that is my recommendation for why you should not sell on Amazon. Next week, I'm going to teach you a better alternative and how to sell things, particularly online, but, I guess for other stuff as well. I guess since Amazon is an online selling thing, it would be an alternative way to selling online. But next week, I'm going to teach you how to a better method for doing this, where you get to avoid competition and you get to avoid, customer confusion and customer nitpickiness and stuff like that. So again, until next week, my name is Christopher Brook. This is Scammed into Startup, and I will see you next time to teach you about that. Until then, good luck with whatever it is that you are doing. I wish you all the best, and I will say goodbye. See you next week.